Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Abuja Inquirer. Cheers as Buhari extends cash swap. Citizens task CBN on availability of new notes. We will monitor banks' vaults. Emefiele speaking there. All the details on the front page of the Abuja Inquirer. And on the front page of the Daily Times, hardship as scarcity of new notes persists at ATMs. Hardship as scarcity of new notes persists at ATMs. All the details on the front page of the Daily Times. To the Daily Trust now, POS operators hike charges amid Naira notes scarcity. Agents charge 1,000 Naira for 10,000 Naira transaction. DSS intercepts currency racketeers. Gunmen attack POS operators, injure 3 in Bauchi. Why e-payments may not address Naira scarcity. Experts speaking there. And to the First News newspaper, still looking at the matter of Naira redesign, cash-strapped Nigerians groan as old new notes become unavailable in banks, ATMs, POS. Bank officials blame CBN for scarcity. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. All right, to the front page of the Blueprint now. Bank officials in new Naira Notes Racket, DSS, EFCC. Arrest syndicates. POS operators trade 15,000 Naira for 2,000 Naira. Supermarkets used for dispensing new notes. CBN to banks pay in lower denominations across the counter. All right, all the details on the front page of the Blueprint. And to the Nation newspaper now, banks fail to dispense cash in halls, ATM terminals. POS operators, hawkers sell Naira notes to citizens, or rather in cities. POS operators, hawkers sell Naira notes in cities. Mike.
All right, I have the Punch newspaper here. That's where we're starting from on this side. Buhari's Kano visit, protesting youths barricade roads and stone helicopter. Buhari's Kano visit, protesting youths barricade roads, stone helicopter. You see that on the front page of the Punch newspaper. From there, let's go to Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says PDP-APC fight over Buhari's visit to Kano. PDP-APC fight over Buhari's visit to Kano. That's what you see on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian News Direct is next, and he says Boko Haram international sponsors want to destroy Nigeria. Buhari is saying this. Boko Haram international sponsors want to destroy Nigeria. Vows not to stay beyond May 29. All right, that's what you see on the front page of Nigerian News Direct. Leadership newspaper. Raila Odinga headlines Leadership Conference. Vice President Shibaju chairs event as Nigeria's top personalities converged on Abuja. All right, that's what the Leadership newspaper has. From there, let's go to this. Nigeria revoke licenses of marketers involved in petrol price hike. Revoke licenses of marketers involved in petrol price hike. That's what you see on this Nigeria. From there, let's go to Business Day, which is the last one I'm looking at now. Worst ever Moody's rating sends Nigerian Eurobonds tumbling. Worst ever Moody's rating sends Nigerian Eurobonds tumbling. All right? That's what we have. Veronica?
All right, Mike, earlier we spoke about the scarcity of fuel. Now we are looking at the scarcity
of
Naira notes, both old and new. Sam yesterday was saying old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Yeah. We can't even find any of them. Yeah. Nigerians are groaning, and that is what we are looking at on the papers this morning. And if you look at the front page of the Blueprint, the DSS, the EFCC is saying bank officials, talking about commercial banks, a new Naira Notes Racket, because we have spoken about this matter where we said there are those who are selling these monies, the redesigned notes, at parties. We see them come in bundles selling, and people are buying.
And we also see videos of people spraying, in bundles.
Yeah. Now, the average Nigerian who needs this money to transact cannot find it. You go across the counter.
Those persons spraying are also transacting.
Well, they are not the average Nigerian. I'm talking about the market woman.
Yeah, of course.
I'm talking about you and I who needs this money because, well, maybe you can go and spray as a chief.
Of course, I know it's even against the law.
Fine.
Exactly.
Now, the average market woman cannot find this money to transact business. Yeah. ATMs are not dispensing. You go across the counter, they tell you that you can't get, yes, you might deposit the old notes, but you can't even get the new notes. To even say, okay, I want to withdraw my money now, even now that there is an extension, you cannot get the old notes.
Yeah.
It's become a challenge. Yesterday, just quickly, let me just, my chauffeur, if I may use the word, was supposed to go somewhere. And he went across looking for cash he couldn't get. That's how bad it is.
It's a terrible situation. Yesterday, I tried to make a transfer after going to some of the ATM machines to make a transfer. Just make a transfer, you know. And then, you know, it was the network issues. And then I had to patronize the POS points. And I had to pay 1,000 Naira just to make a transfer. So it tells you that, of course, the prices of all of those things are increasing as it is. But it draws us back to the reality. When someone was analyzing Nigerian politics and Nigerian politicians recently, say that Nigerian politicians still are not experienced enough to run a country. Because if they do, especially the Nigerian politician of today, if they do, you know that, of course, we know politicians have this thing of, okay, they benefit from the system one way or the other, but being a politician also goes along with being patriotic, especially when you're comparing your country with another country somewhere. Right. You have friends across the globe, you have colleagues around the world, you have traveled, you've gone, you've schooled, and so on. So what is so difficult? I schooled in the United Kingdom, for instance, and then I come back home to replicate what I saw worked in the UK, or I schooled in Mongolia, or I schooled in Malaysia, whatever the thing is. That is how countries develop. When you see the Western countries modifying and working on, it's everything. They didn't learn everything by themselves. There are some of the things they even picked from African countries, depending on whatever formula, whatever issues we're talking about. So this issue, back to the issue of the Naira, as it is right now, one would say these are still the signs of a developing nation that is trying to find its feet here and there. To change the Naira, what is the big deal about doing this? And the central bank, who is supposed to have seen the end from the beginning, maybe along the line, didn't envisage that there are saboteurs within the banking system that will try to thwart the efforts of the success of the financial, making the Nigerian Naira available for Nigerians. But the point there is that the CBN knows exactly how much money it needs to print for Nigerians for it to go round. It knows exactly the Nigerian mentality when it comes to our level of literacy and our level of knowledge of some of these things. Of course, anybody in Lagos will learn here and there how to, transfer the cashless policy way. But how about our grandmother in the village? How about our grandfathers in the village? How about our granduncles in the village? Are they not Nigerians? So the point there is, there are people who still have monies, who still use the colo system, the piggy bank system. You go and drop money inside and go and drop money at the end of the month or at the end of the year, at the end of whatever, you break the thing and then you bring back your money as a way of saving monies. So the point there is, we have not developed to that level yet. Of course, do we have to wait? No, we don't have to wait. But how do we carry everybody along? These are social things that we expect the CBN. As far as I'm concerned, the CBN has not done its due diligence when it comes to enlightening people how to go about this. The infrastructure to back up all of this thing is not there. That is why you see all of this chaos all over the place. Otherwise, what's the big deal?
It's now a blame game matter. Because,
it's a blame game.
Because the commercial banks are pointing an accusing finger at the CBN, and the CBN is pointing an accusing finger at the commercial banks, saying that it has given them enough of the redesigned notes. that could circulate round, according to them, and that he has deployed 30,000 super agents across the country to carry out the swap program, such that people in the rural areas can benefit from this efforts that it is trying to do and to mop up, the old notes out of the system. Now we are having an issue. You should be able to highlight, identify that this is where the issues are, as it is, because you know how things work, you know the processes. You should be able to point out that, okay, it's at this point. Now, you haven't told us how much you give the commercial banks. You haven't told us how you ensured even distribution of these notes across the country. Nigerians are waiting for that data. So that if we need to call out banks, we'll call them out for you to be able to easily deal with the challenge.
Yeah.
But we don't have that data as it stands. That's another problem. Okay, Nigerians are complaining. In fact, there was a video some days ago where people were fighting to get into the bank. Now I'm hearing that some banks are even shutting their doors to people coming in because of the chaos. How do people, especially the unbanked, now trust commercial banks to say, I can deposit my money and get it at any time I want? Yeah. Because not everybody is that tech savvy to say, okay, we can be doing these e-transfers and all of it as it stands.
The challenge there is, of course, the banks, we know that the banks can do better. The CBN can also do better. The issue there is that between the CBN and the commercial banks, there still need to be some level of synergy, working to understand where do we want to take our financial system to? Right. What would it take? Because if a telecom company, for instance, decides to create its own fintech and it is very seamless in operation, or even a bank decides to create its own fintech where you can seamlessly transact business anywhere. It's like using social media where it is fun. It's a lot of fun using it. And they create their own financial system in that way, linking it to your bank, and you can transact, you can buy, you can transfer, you can do anything as the case may be. I don't see why the CBN can't do even much more. I don't see why the commercial banks can't do much more. But the point there still boils down to the fact that if we understand our system enough, if we understand the Nigerian system and our history and our peculiarities enough, the 3 months, one would say it's okay, it's enough, it's adequate. But this reality tells you it's not adequate.
It's not even 3 months as it stands.
The CBN, because of the policy it's trying to create, trying to cash in or use the opportunity of the election to see how we can curb
vote buying.
Curb vote buying, and then ensure that you mop up monies, excess monies in the...
Yeah.
Of course, but the point there is it has to be a long-term
plan.
Right.